Did I mute the tab already? I did, okay. Oh, that's alright. I mean, the whole reason I made the poll in the first place was I also wasn't sure what the answer was. Oh boy. Also, I sort of, I realized just before I started streaming, I gave this episode, or the working title is like basically the same thing as the finale for Space Marine 2. So that was unintentional, but so now we know the logo is not only the little artifact at the beginning. I mean, it was actually kind of big, but it wasn't bigger than a person, I don't think. But it's also the shape of the Master Teleporter. Just how appropriate. Ah. So they gave us an autosave within Chrono Tower, thankfully, so, we're just gonna get cracking. I think the longest I've ever waited for something shipping, I don't quite remember how long I actually waited. It was a long time, but, what was it? Oh yeah, so I was in China at the time, and I got my dad. Yes, indubitably. I got my dad a Three Stooges themed Monopoly board, and it was coming from the States, so. Aw, it's okay.
I am here to support my friends. Take us home, Samus. I am here to support my friends.
Okay.
Take us home, Samus.
This reminds me of like a bit in the first Avengers where the Tesseract, also known as the Space Stone, is like, well, they don't know there's a stone inside of it. It's just like the cube. It's inside this little cube. Hence why it's called the Tesseract, but the Space Stone and stuff, and
I poured my heart and soul into that mech. Poor Betsy.
well,
The Master Teleporter should be here. Let's keep looking.
well, she fulfilled her mission, fulfilled her duty, as it were.
I believe this is a sacred place. I can feel it.
I mean, you can also just look around, sure, but
You've nearly fulfilled your promise to the Larmorn. All you need is to carry the memory fruit away from Veros.
ah, yes, okay. So we haven't entirely failed our mission, because I do remember something about how they wanted their legacy to continue beyond this world. So.
Finally, we got to go home.
But anyway, like in the first Avengers, oh, that's all you're gonna say. It's like the Tesseract starts acting up and stuff, and nobody's sure why until.
Taylor, don't get too comfortable.
And then Hawkeye mentions.
We need to find the Master Teleporter so we can get off this rock.
Hawkeye is like, maybe, it's not something that's happening on this end, and or whatever. Nick Fury is like on this end. He's like, yeah, it's the cube is a, door that opens two different points in space, right? It's like, doors open from both sides.
The robots are awake.
Yes, the temple responds to Samus.
Let's follow the little flying robots.
Okay, it's different. Also, something I noticed, a slight detail change in Duke's and Armstrong's behavior that helps you identify which is which, is Armstrong will run a bit more often than Duke does. So
We need to find the master teleporter so we can get off this rock.
Finally, we get to go home.
I didn't actually talk to them afterwards.
You've nearly fulfilled your promise
Okay.
to the Larmorn. All you need is to carry the memory fruit away from Viros.
And plant another sacred tree. Yeah. Yeah, I mentioned in last episode how it's kind of a
You okay, Samus?
Give her a minute.
it's kind of a reversal of Echoes, in that Samus goes to Aether to save the Marines, but then they're all dead. But then she saves the day for the Luminoth. And in this case, her first objective is to help out the Larmorn, but they're basically all gone too. But she ends up saving the Marines. So
Let's follow the little flying robots.
got anything new to say?
Finally,
Nope.
we get to go home.
This music, just especially when, like, it's playing while, they're approaching the master teleporter, and, like, Armstrong just goes, guys, I can't believe it. We're actually going home. And it's just like, yeah, something bad's about to happen. Yeah, also freaking called it. I'm like, yeah, like I feel like just right after she says that or something, Silex is gonna appear. Like I said, I predicted that, I think, before I even played this game.
Whoa, it's
It's unfolding. The robots are the keys.
Hey,
Mm-hmm.
we got an elevator. Let's head up.
Master Teleporter should be here. Let's keep looking.
I am here to support my friends. Take us home, Samus.
Look! Isn't it gorgeous?
Your head shape reminds me of somebody. I think his head shape reminds me of the robot a bit from Lost in Space.
Finally, we get to go home.
We need to find the Master Teleporter so we can get off this rock.
Also, this cradle-looking thing
Finally reached the top of the tower.
just kind of occurred to me. It kind of looks. It kind of looks like a radio telescope or something. Looks like, anyway.
How does she do that?
Careful now, Samus. Careful up there.
Mackenzie asking the question that, you know, Honest Trailers guy always asks when it comes to Metroid stuff. But seriously, how does Samus I could go into the morph ball. I guess his head also reminds me of like a hammerhead a little bit. And this one is closed. Should have known. So he's in there. He's literally right behind me as I'm doing this. Oh my gosh. Also, I do kind of wonder, like, I was thinking about this, and
Look at this place.
also, I did miss what you were saying last time, and then I heard that part again, and I was like, oh, that's what you meant. Sounds like she says no, but it might just be her exhaling or something. But anyway, as I was saying, the first words that Silex actually says, the first and only words you hear him say,
You got the key.
which is pretty badass.
Take us home.
It's like Samus may not breathe a word, but actually hearing Silex speak for the first time, like, oh my gosh. It does. Also, I was scanning this off camera. Master Teleporter, large device for spatial travel across galactic scale distances. Activation requires the user to have 5 Master Teleporter keys. So, So basically, we could be, and probably are, based on other, like things that Mackenzie said. Like, we're probably in an entirely different galaxy. Yeah, for real. Which, you know, wow. That's what you mean, is beyond, you know. Right, yeah. I mean, all of the pods did lower. Like, you see the other ones over there. But, yes, there's still just the one over there. But, as I was saying, I was kind of thinking, like, there's actually this, like, sort of meta, like, I wondered if, like, Silex's first words are, like, actually kind of a meta line, if you will, of just, like, kind of a nod to the fans, because, you know, we've been waiting for this too. So, you know. I think by galactic scale, it is meaning it can just maybe, yeah. I mean, sure, it's not intergalactic technically, but I know.
This must be the master teleporter.
Speaking of Avengers and the Tesseract and Space Stone, yeah, each of these keys are a different color. Yeah.
Guys, I can't believe it. We're actually going home.
But not yet. Something I wondered afterwards, because I was trying to think of a bad situation, like within like the Galactic Federation's history, and I think I thought of one, which is the Horus Rebellion. Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking that is right now. And also, him holding his head, I kind of wonder if that's because, like, he was, like, clearly he was also having that flashback at the same time, so I don't know if that's why Samus had the memory.
Samus!
As have I.
Silence! Knuckle up!
Watch those arms.
Fat out!
Yeah, that time it kind of sounded like it was saying you can't do it, or we can't do it, or something. Yeah, rather than do copy, which is what I thought of originally. I want to save the power bombs for when it does the Hydra head or whatever. Yeah, unsure what is being said there. But there is a voice saying something, you know, in the communication. But what I'm wondering I am wondering if maybe what happened that led to such, is like, okay, there was a rebellion on a planet, and the Marines were deployed to try and quash the rebellion. But then it just wasn't going well, or something, or whatever. And so it gave me a target. Oh. Oh. Okay. But yeah, it just wasn't going well, and so maybe they were like, okay, we're gonna be dealing with, or we're just gonna, I don't know, launch basically a nuke, like, or the equivalent thereof, with their forces still on the ground. And so it's like, they basically just killed their own men, like the higher ups did, or whatever. Maybe I just gotta aim it or time it better or something. Yeah, I can try. Oh, no. True, yeah, it probably still, yeah. Also, kind of giving me Big Hero 6 vibes just a little bit, because he's using a bunch of, like, nanobots. I wonder if I could actually use... Oh, right, you're doing that move. Oh, you made me... He did cause me to release it, though. Okay.
Bad news coming our way.
Yeah, probably. Oh, I was like, is that a two-headed thing in just one spot? Yeah, it didn't, thankfully it didn't last too long, so... But I am already halfway there. Well, halfway dead, I should say. Ah, watch it. Oh, double. Oh. Oh boy. What? Whoa. Yep, you called it. Where the heck is he? Oh boy. There he is. Whoops, sorry. Now arm formed into a damaging head. This form puts heavy strain on the... Okay, yeah. Who is also dead, down. Ah, watch it, people! It sure do feel like that, don't it? No! Yeah.
Watch those arms. Get out.
Yeah, technically, psychic beam, you know, involves just my regular old power beam. As well. But yeah.
Psychic lasso is working. All right. Let's get the rest of these arms.
Well, there's a reason I decided to end the stream yesterday. When I did and hold off. Because, you know, I'm like, this is gonna take me a while. Yeah. I mean, naturally my brain was like, well, I guess it's missiles, because that would be the opposite. Like, on the...
That's the last one. He's vulnerable. Now's our chance. Hit him with everything you've got. Oh no, the arms transformed. Keep it together. We got this.
Well, I got it, at least.
I count 4. We took him out once. We can do it again.
Ah, I missed that. I missed Tokabi saying, I count 4 now, or something. Ow. Right. I mean, you know, it's like... It's kind of become Doc Ock, you know? Which is funny, because I'm very, you know, I have a lot of Spider-Man-y things, you know? Or aspects. Alright. Not sure, I mean... Oh, right. Are you serious? I don't think so. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, while it doesn't, Oh, shoot! Where's Tokabi? Oh, there he is. Okay. Whoop, wrong button. Where was I? I was saying something. Ow. Oh. Ow! Darn you! Awesome. Thank you for the gold. Oh, yeah, I remember what I was gonna say. Like, although it doesn't actually have, like, it's not like an actual cover of, like, his battle theme from, Hunters. Which, again, I don't mind, because the theme from Hunters really only does work for, like, it really only does work for, like, random encounters or things like that. Or just short battles. Because yeah, the tunes from Hunters they only really work for certain situations. I think that there's something missing. It feels, but as I was saying though, like I think like it is using the same notes. I think. Oh.
I'm okay. Happy as Sally.
Where is he? There you are.
Good.
Over here, buddy. Buddy boy. Maybe I should be... Ah! No? Alright. Because I was thinking of the time there was like a twofer. Just ammo. I mean, I'll take it, I guess, but...
Mackenzie needs your help.
Because I'm experimenting, and there might be a
I'm alive.
like putting strain on his stuff may also include doing that. I don't know. And also, it was the only thing that offered a reticle. Assuming you're talking about when I was doing when he was using the electric Hydra. But even if you weren't, because I was trying to get the other, like get as much like space, as it were, or splash damage around. Experimenting. Oh. Oh, new phase.
Had enough? Oh, I'm just getting started.
Oh. Whoa.
Where'd they go?
Whoa. What in the world is happening now? Kind of a callback to the the Meta Ridley fight. That actually wasn't a fake Freudian slip. That was a... Ah! Right, shock coil. Get it? Whoa. Yeah, very much. I want you. Not, you know. You're the quarry of my prize. What exactly am I supposed to do there when he does that? Except we're going through like a warp portal or something of some sort. So, you like electricity, eh? I can oblige. Oop. New thing. What the Master Hand Final Destination stage?
Just you and me, Samus.
Indeed.
Come on. Let's get this over with.
Oh my gosh. Alright, now this is more like it. You got some nice toys, but so do I. But I'm also almost dead, so... Shock coil! Or, not shock coil. Lockjaw! He did it! He did the thing! Okay. Okay. Lockjaw, a transformed version of Silex. The shield generated by his energy sphere nullifies all firearm attacks. When in Lockjaw mode, Silex transforms into an energy sphere surrounded by a unique frame. Thanks to suit upgrades, Lockjaw's energy sphere can be made to generate a shield that nullifies all firearm attacks. He can also now ram into his enemy to steal an energy tank. Oh gosh. Yeah. Additionally, he can perform a rush attack that stuns targets with an electric shock. A stolen energy tank can be knocked free only by striking Silex with the momentum from a boost ball maneuver. However, if the energy tank cannot be recovered before Silex exits Lockjaw mode, it will be permanently lost. Oh gosh. I see. Okay, so those were the remaining scans then. Yeah, it is a bit different, but then again, his suit is also different. Which it does mention that his, it does mention that his suit, whoa, oh boy, now we're playing this game now, are we? Ooh, what's going on? Oh, did he just teleport me? Where is he? Miniature black hole generated by Silex. Oh, great. It draws in firearm attacks, neutralizes them. Only the control beam and the will of its user can resist the black hole's pull. Say no more. Oh. Ow. Fuck. Yee! Ooh! What? Oh, darn it. The laugh was different. Alright, so where does that put me? Oh, thank you, game. Oh, this is epic. You got a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool quips. Well, I'm not sure if there is a way to destroy these. Oh man, missed those. Ah! Also, his weapon has officially become like green or teal than blue. If we could adjust the elephant in the room. Got him. Yes.
Just you and me, Samus.
Come on! Let's get this over with.
I suppose. Man. Right. Also, oh, crap. Also, he's doing the little tripwire thingies. Yeah. He's like, where can I sell this? Oh, I know. I've got me I know this little platform that's just out in space. Or somewhere. I forgot about that. Oh, yeah. So I guess we can maybe safely assume that he's been to Vuros before. A little, maybe a little. Ah, that's why it mentions the and the will of its user, because there's still a pull. Also, nice little. Okay, I think I got this. Ah! What do I do? Okay, it's lore accurate. It was also healing him when he did that. Ooh. Ah! Oh, I didn't quite realize what was going on. Watch it! Ah! Oh, another one! Oh my gosh. And also, yeah, it does actually steal, like actually steal them. Because like they weren't actually there. Alright, how about a little electricity? I hear that's your favorite thing to do. Oh, wait a minute, hang on. That's not exactly what I meant to do. Okay, I got this. I can do this. But he is healing himself when he does that. He's almost dead. But so am I. Right. Got him. Oh. Ah, shoot. Oh, gosh. Darn it! I was trying to do the... I was trying to do the barrier thing because I completely forgot that was a thing. Gosh, if I had deployed that earlier. Or maybe just not have done it at all. Maybe just focused on dodging. Wow. Yeah, that was my bad. We were on the verge of greatness. We were this close. All right. I was aiming for the center there, and Nothing doing. Okay. No. I love how the solution to the problem, the only solution to the problem is using your own alt form. Also, yeah, it does actually make perfect sense. It does make perfect sense for, I mean, to a certain degree, because the whole shtick with the shock coil when he uses it is that he steals health. Oh, right. Shoot. That's not what I meant to do. Oh, man. Oh, no. I can't get him. Ah. Oh, he just opened up a portal and just took a pot shot at me. All right. All right, yeah. Hit him with a nut shot. Did I say that out loud? Anyway. Ha! Good call. Oh! He was actually injuring himself, I think. Like, instead of healing himself. Yeah, good call. Oh, I'm almost out of missiles. Shoot. Because it do be using missiles. That is the trade-off. Ow. Right, that's what you mean. Uh-oh. Ah! Okay, well that works too. Gotcha! Was Samus about to try and save him? Prime 2 moment.
Shouldn't we go after her?
Tell me how and I'm there.
Alert. Spatial anomaly detected.
Great.
That's not the... He's not gone. I don't think.
Here we go.
Well,
Be ready for anything.
or as they say, if I don't see no body.
Samus! I knew you'd come back.
I wondered if she'd give her a hug at some point.
Glad to have you with us.
Aw.
Does that mean Silex is good?
No. I don't think he's gone.
We'll be right behind you.
Just because of a snapshot in this area specifically. I think they're gonna go home. They're gonna go home, and then just before I'm about to leave, he shows up again. That's my prediction. Unless...
Maybe if I, oh.
I gotta check back to see those times where
Still powers the teleport.
where those visions start happening. Is it
Responds
if the timing is in conjunction with a Silex encounter?
Wait, is that Viros?
Oh.
That must be Tanamar.
Okay, so
Home
it
sweet home.
so it is.
And you are sure?
Well, we're gonna find out.
You did it.
We're really going home.
Oh. Called it. Oh, that music.
Silex!
Watch it. What? Well, except they're not.
Protect the teleporter.
Are you alright?
Well, except they didn't go home yet. So, did he? Oh, you guys got guts. I love you.
I got you.
Providing cover.
Ooh. Let him have it.
Teleporter's not gonna last long. You gotta make the jump while you still can. I'll do my best to stabilize the power. Restart the sequence. We'll buy you time while it charges.
Whoa. Yeah? What? Mackenzie! Wait. We're not gonna leave them, are we?
Samus! No!
I can't move. I have to.
Hey, Samus. So long be with you.
So they're still there? Jeez. What? Maybe? I have maybe a feeling that if I did wait, then the teleporter would have just busted or something, and then I couldn't. I don't know. Well, yeah, yeah. I just might do that. Yeah. See if anything interesting happens. Um. Well, interestingly enough, so Silex lived, like he apparently, like the game ended with him, like no confirmation that he's dead. Aaron Yvette, motion, Christian, motion. Okay. Lace, Malik, Leader. Okay. Interesting how they had a different actress for motion, like Samus's motion, as well as, but then like a different one from the actual voice. So I would say that does. I would say that does confirm. Maybe. Because yeah, we still haven't seen that one snapshot I saw. AMC Studio. Huh. It was actually at AMC that I saw Tron Ares. So. Forge Studios. Wait. Forge Studios. They helped with some Warhammer games, I think. Right. I mean, I think the colors were changing. Like, it did feel like, at the moment that I pressed it, it did feel like, okay, you gotta press it now, or else. It might just be a matter of, if you don't, then it'll break, and then, well, game over or something. That literally might be it. Jeez. Or was it Forge Studios? I might be thinking of something else. Cup of tea. Director Patrick. It's really having trouble just maintaining one particular focus like this. Hopefully the credits aren't nearly as long as Space Marine 2's. But chances are it's not. Or, you know, they aren't, so. It's pretty humid in here. Huh. Well, at the very least, I'll say that was a pretty epic final battle, and I would say I am satisfied. Kensuke Tanabe. Oh! Oh, there you go. It's Kenji Yamamoto, and it was Minako Hamano. There you go. Sweet. Good work, you two. They make some cool jams. Cool jams for Metroid. Like a Zero Mission. Yeah, like Prime 3, both Kenji Yamamoto and Minako Hamano were both involved with a third guy, Masaru Tajima, I believe. But then before that, the last time that they were involved together would have been Zero Mission. And then Super Metroid, I think might have been the first time they were. Oh, Nintendo of Taiwan. There you go. General producer Shinya Takahashi. Yep, the guy that we see in the Shintaro Furukawa, not Yoshio Sakamoto. Hard mode unlocked. Ah. Oh. Oh. Ah. That is a very fast-growing plant. Wow, are we doing a Christmas tree now? I mean, the game did come out in December. It's a very pretty tune. Okay, but I do have the other save now, so. Well, seems like she did actually complete the Larmorn mission at least. because I don't think it would have. I don't think I would have. It would have. I don't think it would have actually saved the checkpoint, not the autosave. Yeah, I don't think it would have autosaved the checkpoint. I'm pretty sure I would have to have done that. Like, I'm pretty because okay, look. There's an autosave right there's an autosave right before the first fight. There's a checkpoint right before that part. But that is not something I can select on the menu. So there's a good shot that if I selected it, or if I went back to, if I selected like the autosave or what have you, or go back or whatever, or like if I said no, then it would have taken me right back to the main menu, and then chances are it wouldn't have actually, and chances are the autosave select wouldn't have actually taken the checkpoint into account, okay? Look, I know what I'm... Look, I know sometimes I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I do have a reason for what I do.
We can leave for Chrono Tower whenever you give the order, Samus. You ready? Once we leave, there's no turning back. If there's anything you need to complete, now is the time.
Now I'm wondering if there is something further if I got all the scans, but I don't know.
All right, listen up. We got a lot of ground to cover, so check in your gear. If it don't punch a hole in something, we don't got a use for it. Our mission is to guide Samus to the Master Teleporter. To do that, we gotta cross Soul Valley and destroy the force field around Chrono Tower. Open her up!
Force field undamaged. I must increase power.
No. I told you I can only guarantee 80%.
Recalculating.
It's overclocking it or something.
Warning. System critical.
We need to abort. The weapon's gonna blow. Oh no. Soldier!
Fortunately, I do have a trick up my sleeve that the menu allows in this game, I do believe.
Force field destroyed.
Well done. No, my baby.
I'm so sorry.
She did good.
She did. She sure did.
You just pop.
This is our moment. You coming, Mac?
Yes, sir, Sarge.
shot kind of reminds me of a bit in Revenge of the Sith, when Anakin is leading the clone troopers into the Jedi Temple.
Wow, this place is so beautiful.
Okay, now I did notice... Change difficulty. May result in forfeiting some in-game rewards. Well, it wouldn't, like... It wouldn't change... It wouldn't... Okay, if there is something more to not using the teleporter... Wow. Yeah. Same. But something else I won't risk is keeping this in my bladder. So I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break, and we're gonna do this again. As Duke put it, we did it once, we can do it again. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh yeah. I do think I am probably, I am like 90, I would say over 50% convinced, maybe 90% convinced, or 75%, we'll call it 75% convinced that if I just don't use the teleporter, then I'll get a bad ending or something. Like, I think that might be what happens, but we'll see. Sorry about that. I accidentally changed the changed the channel, as it were. Didn't mean to do that. Well, you know what I said at the... I don't know. Maybe it's more 50-50 of, like, you know, what I think. I just don't know, because again, there was that one snapshot of Silex that we didn't see. Just don't know. I might just play off. Like, I'll probably, like, as far as... If there's something more, like if I finish the game with 100% scans, like if there's another cutscene afterwards, which, I don't know. That would be unusual.
The robots are awake.
Yes, the temple responds to Samus.
Does make me wonder, it's like the game basically like telling you to choose between saving the Larmorn's legacy and saving the Marines. If something actually does happen, if I hesitate.
You okay, Samus?
Give her a minute. Watch it!
Sorry. You step in front of me. So that's why I wasn't there before.
It's unfolding. The robots are the keys.
Hey, got an elevator. Let's head up.
Yeah, now I'm just wondering, okay, is that snapshot something else in the game, or is it just something like a render of the area that
Look.
Nintendo released?
Isn't it gorgeous?
Also, forgot, like, yeah, Yoshio Sakamoto usually, I mean, he does appear typically in like the credits for Retro, except he appears as in like the special thanks section usually, not like not the part, you know, as far as like him actually completing the game or being the executive producer for the game.
We have finally reached the top of the tower.
How does she do that?
Yeah. Now, I did kind of privately predict, yeah, Armstrong would give Samus a hug, except I thought it would, except I was thinking it would be more of a goodbye hug, but no, it was this, it was more like, oh my gosh, you're okay, you know, you're not dead and stuff. Just also, and just Samus giving her a pat on the back, you know. It's like, oh, yeah, it's alright. But I mean, to be fair, I don't even know if the post-credits cutscene was even bound to item collection because it didn't mention anything. And so by that same reasoning, I'm kind of wondering if there isn't actually anything more if I scanned everything as well. Also, what's the thing about in-game? In-game rewards. I guess that would be like gallery stuff, maybe. Man, though, if the game does actually just end that way, just with my buddy is just staying behind to stop Silex from going after Samus and stuff, and you know, man. I mean, I'm not gonna say, you know, that's a terrible ending, because, you know, it's just. Ow. I didn't mean to hit the mic, but I was just like, man, it's like I just got a dagger thrust in me or something. I was like, what? You mean you're not actually going with me? And it's like, yeah, but. And plus, you know, they're obviously leaving the door wide open for a sequel. And like, I think Nintendo or somebody else is like confirming or saying, yeah, this is the start of a whole new story.
I can't believe it. We're actually going home.
So with Silex, like, no confirmation that he's dead at the end of this one. There's also no confirmation that they're dead either, you know. But then again, if Silex does show up again, then, you know, it would seem to imply that he did best them or something, you know. Also, yes, I am wearing my Metroid shirt today. I was wearing it in the first episode, and I'm wearing it now.
Samus! Silence! Knuckle up!
Watch those arms.
Bam!
Lasso is working.
All right, let's get the rest of these on.
Yeah, I wish I knew that where my reticle was pointing while I'm locked on is actually where my missiles would track or would go to. Because boy, oh boy, is that helpful information. Oh, shoot. Okay.
We took them out once. We can do it again. Watch your face.
I'm alive.
Okay. Whew. Thank you.
Let him have it.
Keep it together now.
It's too powerful.
I forgive you. I understand the frustration.
Coming our way.
Ah! Shoot. Oh, perfect. We're just calling him V for short. So do you have a nickname, Armstrong? Because you got Sarge, Mac, V. Over here, buddy. I think I'm getting sloppy, though. Come on. Oh, what? Awesome. Hey. I guess actually having tentacle arms isn't too abnormal. Just given the theme of like, you know, coil, like shock coil, so you know it's like tendrils or tentacles, you know. Can you just... I think I'm trying to go too fast. Like I'm trying to hurry back to the end or something, which, I mean, to be fair. But then again, maybe this part is just the worst. Alright. Medic Samus reporting for duty.
I'm okay.
Oh my gosh, I just saved him. Okay, whew. That's just awful. Yikes.
Armstrong needs your help.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't have a good amount of health, though. So could you oblige and give me some gold? That would be wonderful. Ah! Because I had like, what was it, like maybe half, like a little less than half of my whole health when the second phase started. But now, I'm really... Then again, this part is the hardest part, so, you know. I'm not really just because of, you know, having to dodge and hit and stuff, but also just by virtue of, but also because of, like, you know, having to make sure everybody else is okay as well. Okay.
Had enough? Oh, I'm just getting started.
Alright.
Where'd they go?
First try. Getting past that part, but then again, I do have less health starting off, but... Oh, wrong. Also, then again, I can also get health from this part. So yeah. Oh, this annoying thing. I still don't know what to do about that. Do I shoot these things? I mean, how do do I have to dodge them? I mean, or crap. Yay! I've only got so many missiles left. I want to make sure I have, like, some for the barrier, you know? Also, yeah, the electric shock thing, or the thunder shot does have some homing capabilities, which is useful.
Just you and me, Samus. Come on, let's get this over with.
Oh, yeah. You know, right? You know, even Prime Pinball was getting a bit of love there. I just realized. Because the little, those, lockjaw bomb barriers he was doing, which he can now drop 6. Which I think is, yeah, must be part of the upgrade he gave himself, because he could only drop 3 earlier. But, yeah, when I was getting hit, when I was knocking into those, they were causing me to bounce a bit, you know? So kind of Prime Pinball also got a bit of love. Like all of the Prime games got a bit of love in this. Which of course I'm loving. Oh no, silly me. Dang it. I hit the wrong button. I know. Oh, not another one. Oh boy. No. Whoo. Because super missiles are the bomb.com? But yeah, I could have been doing this. Oh, hey. But yes, I know. I need some for the barrier. It's true. Speaking of which. Not again! No! The morph ball button and the morph ball button and the scan button are right next to each other. Oh, thank you, game. Well, that was quick. But yeah, I would say I'm quite satisfied. Quite satisfied with this fight. It's quite good. Quite difficult and epic. Oh no! Fortunately, they do give you a good amount of elbow room to work with as far as reclaiming your energy tanks are concerned. Ah! Right, don't get too close to him when he does that. I actually don't need to duck. I just need it for that one. I just need to make sure I'm not close to him because it's a short-ranged attack. Yeah, I know. The last time he did that, I just okay. Not doing it that time. I was like, okay, do not press that other button for the love of all. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Yeah, oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, so what had happened was, I had, like, I didn't quite notice when the color changed. And so, yeah. Like, I think I noticed it when it was too late when I noticed it. Oh. Okay, I can do it. I can do it while he's still, or I can do it while he's doing it. Okay. The shock coil user gets shocked. Good old Sammy being compassionate towards even her enemies.
Tell me how, and I'm there.
Alert. Spatial anomaly detected.
Great. What now?
Great. What now?
Here we go. Be ready for anything.
Yeah, also, Silex's portals are also sharing that little ice shape. So yeah, he's definitely... Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't necessarily mean he's been here before,
You with us. Samus,
but it does mean he's really
does that mean
acquired a
Samus
good
is-
deal of, you know, gear and stuff around here, you know, or just gotten the know-how.
Ready to go home?
We'll be right behind you.
Yeah, I don't know.
You did well, Samus.
Thank you.
Glad you're back. Really glad.
I knew you could do it. Never doubted you.
Well, thank you.
You made it. I was worried, but you're here.
You have survived. Excellent work. Time to activate the master teleporter.
Now everybody's gonna, yeah, just be saying something like that. So, yeah, we're either gonna get... I'm thinking we're either gonna get a game over or a bad ending. Or maybe nothing happens. I don't know.
Oh, your crystal powers the teleporter. It only responds.
But yeah, what a suspenseful ending if it just...
Wait, is that Virus? That must be Tanamar. Home sweet home.
And you are sure?
Well, we're gonna find out.
You did it.
We're really going home.
keep emphasizing that we're going home, you know. Which is really the game telling you, no, you're not.
Silence!
Wow, he like incapacitated her for a second there. Well, then again, it was her little noggin that was basically generating the field, it seems. So for him to destroy the noggin makes sense.
I got you.
Providing cover.
You guys are the best.
Teleporter's not gonna last long. You gotta make the jump while you still can. I'll do my best to stabilize the power. Restart the sequence. We'll buy you time while it charges.
Shut up! Also, somehow I didn't notice until seeing it again this time that Mackenzie deliberately got in front of the beam. Alright. My hands are off the controller. Yeah, things get critical. Master teleporter destruction imminent. just a game over, isn't it? Yep. It was just a game over. Wow. I think truthfully I did expect that more than a bad ending. But all the same, it kind of, a bad ending kind of is a game over in of itself. Man. Hey, look, it took just about the same amount of time. Well, sort of. Yeah, because it was like just past the 1 hour mark. And now it's like just after the 2 hour mark. Man, wow, what you know, and the funny thing is, I kind of wondered if they would pull something like that, just with, because I was like, okay, like, you know, everybody's doing the sacrificial play to help Samus out along the way, and then I was like, you know, and I'm like, well, you know, I know you're gonna be okay, so, you know, I'm only so emotional right now, even though it was still moving that they were doing that for me along the way and stuff. I'm just like, man, oh man. And then I thought to myself, unless, you know, unless after the point when I know they're okay, they actually won't be, which would be, I mean, just like, wow. Well, let's go to a more pleasant screen, shall we? Just go back to the main menu. Wow. Well, like I said, like last episode, I was like, I'm in that state of mind where I was at, like playing Dread. Like I'm like, okay, I'm expecting something unexpected, and honestly, that was unexpected. You know. They were good soldiers. All of them. Well, no, I mean, it's alright. I mean, you know, we weren't gonna know unless I actually tried, right? Dang. Yeah, I'm just left. What, you mean like Samus like leaving? Um I don't know. Could think of it that way, but then again, there was the whole other mission, which was to, you know, continue the legacy of the Larmorn, which she does do. She does do if you go through the teleporter. And again, like, you know, I saw that. You know, they're all, you know. I think we just, you know, planted another sacred tree or what have you, but which you know is like provided, I don't know, some like special like living conditions or something for like the different critters and such. I actually don't really remember. But yeah. Well, it's more about, yeah, extending Larmorn reach, like legacy and reach or whatever, just beyond just not Tanamar, Viros. But speaking of Tanamar, it does seem like the theories that Viros and Tanamar were the same world were totally off. In fact, yeah, it doesn't seem. Ooh. Man. Cute. What did they? They entertained giving him the old like Dr. Clash robot arms, huh? This one Tokabe? Yes, it is. Ah, this is on Tanamar. Now, yeah, don't get me wrong. I was a bit more interested in, you know, saving my troops and stuff. Yeah, I was a bit more interested in, you know, saving the gang than, you know, just, you know, preserving the Larmorn spirit and legacy or whatever with another sacred tree somewhere else. But then again, regardless, the teleporter was gonna explode. And, so, yeah. I don't know if it felt so out of place or more just unexpected. I still wouldn't necessarily say it was. I also wouldn't necessarily say it was out of character. Yeah. Also, they got different ideas of what the Metroids would look like. These new Metroids. That one looks like it. These ones look like they got dried up a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking it was just a different part of Tanamar. But then there is some doubt that Tokabi says, like, are you sure? I don't remember if he said, "Are you sure?" exactly, but there was still something kind of like that. It was like, well, let's find out. And boy, oh boy, did they. Oh, okay. Well, the Larmorn legacy was continued, you know. I think in some spiritual sense, the tree and the extension thereof is what is, you know. Ah. Since there is a spiritual connection between the Larmorn and the sacred tree, I think that is part of it as well. Like continuing their legacy and reach. Man, though. But we did do that at least. So, which was a pretty early on thing, pretty early on mission. As far as collecting as far as getting to the artifact before Silex did and like preventing any kind of disaster, no, we didn't do that. So, scenarios. There's the Omega Griever. Ah, yes. Ah. Also, I was wondering, yeah, how does she discard her? How does she discard the Larmorn gear if she's yeah, how does she accomplish that exactly if she's gonna be on a different, or gonna take the suit with her? Hmm? Oh. Sweet, we get like a we get a movie gallery as well. Oh, is this the... Wait, hang on. There are pirates in this vision. Right. Okay, hang on a second though. Hold up. Okay, I don't properly remember. Well, many sacrificing for the one real important one, I guess, but not to say their lives aren't important, that's not what I mean, but like, you know, for the greater cause, or, you know, what they're, you know, they're all just helping out, you know, Samus and stuff, you know, but like, okay, what was I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, so I don't remember where this first vision was seen, but I do remember where the second time was, which was like right around when Silex shows up in that ship to like attack, or and like, you know, starts attacking us and stuff. So I think maybe I am onto something, that it's kind of like in like Primes 2 and 3, whenever Dark Samus is near, like you have the music playing, and whatnot. Yeah. I think oh, I don't... Yeah, I didn't think it was him. I didn't think it was him, specifically. I was actually sending him... Or, I didn't think it was him sending those messages. I think it was just... like she's having kind of premonitions. I don't think that's quite the word I'm looking for. I think more revelation is the word that I'm looking for. Like, because she has the psychic stone, she's like realizing this memory way back when of that Marine that she encountered, that there's a connection. I mean, I think part of me kind of wondered if he was connected, but it was just that like he was doing it, but that was more just because of how involved he was in this game, like conflict-wise and whatnot. Oh yeah, I do remember. They were mentioning Priest Shatoya in a lot of those scans. Preserving our knowledge history. The Larmorn spirit will keep on living. Right. Chosen one. Carry out our legacy on this planet of Eros to a new world. That is your mission and the last hope of the Larmorn. The Master Teleporter is located in the Pinnacle Lotus. It is needed to journey into a new world. Also, this is the arena, the battle arena. To use it, you must first collect 5 keys. Right. Select key locations. That's why the statue was like already scanned. Because it was where we first met him, or yeah, it was the first one we saw. Welcome to our temple. Yeah, it might have been, because it was at the very top. Temple of Memory. From the beginning, the priests recorded our history in the sacred tree by offering prayers. Behold. What? Our legacy is preserved within. Born from this tree is the memory fruit. Legacy compiled within the tree will be inherited to the memory fruit. For the memory fruit to grow, you must seek the green energy crystals which have been scattered throughout the planet. Deposit green energy crystals in the altar of legacy. Place your faith in your chosen one. Well, oh yeah, I forgot how those stairs formed, like they looked like flowing water. Well, I will say, well, that's it then. To unlock this gallery item. If there's one thing I can say that would more, I don't know if justify is really the word I'm looking for, but it's that, you know, I think, you know, it's as it is said, you know, those who forget history are doomed or condemned to repeat it. And that may also be part of why they want that maybe and possibly and probably is why Shatoya wants like the legacy of the Larmorn to go on, just so, like, as a cautionary tale, as a warning. But then again, even so, that can act as a double-edged sword, because some people just don't learn from history, and they look back and are like, you know what, they were actually onto something. But we can do it better. We can do it right, which I think itself kind of opens the door. It's like what, like, something Jesus says to the Pharisees that is very, like, something that a lot of people could learn these days and stuff, which is like, don't you dare like say or don't think in your hearts that, oh, if you had been back in the day of the prophets, like you wouldn't have put them to death, and as your ancestors did, like, which is just something people say these days, or something similar. People are like, okay, well, they might have. It's like, okay, like somebody looks at like the whole green energy stuff and they're like, okay, well, sure, they effed up, but we can do it better, and it's like, but then, or Isaac Kleiner being like, oh, we need to use that tech from the Borealis and stuff. And Eli Vance is like, has Black Mesa taught you nothing? There's no controlling that kind of power. And, and stuff like that. So at least in my mind, that does help the ending, I think. And also, here's another thing why I'm not like so like, okay, why the frick did we just abandon? I mean, yeah, still it is all just set up as like her it is like, I don't know, the greater mission just to, I don't know, preserve the history as, I guess, as a cautionary tale. At least that's part of how I'm looking at it. Because, I mean, which that does make sense, but at the same time, I'm just kind of like, man, we're really just leaving our squad behind. But, I guess I get it, but then, again, like I'm saying, like, another reason I'm not, like, totally, it's because it's, like I was saying, they're obviously setting up for another game after this. And besides that, there have already been rumors and reports that Retro, before they even released Prime 4, that they were already starting on Prime 5. So, there's that as well. Also, I wasn't saying as well, I wasn't saying that the revelations are just her memory. I think it's really just because she had that encounter with the Marine and she's had her encounters with Psylocke. But because she had the Psychic Stone, there was now a piece of the puzzle, or it was now merging the two, and that's why she was having those visions. Because there was now a tethering between the two. Or yeah, her brain was now putting two and two together, but in a rather painful revelatory way, seemingly. But then again, there does seem to be like I mentioned before, there does seem to be a like Silex might be like part of the reason they're like those visions are occurring, other than, well, him being that Marine, right? But it may also be involuntary. Like he is a catalyst for it, but it's actually involuntary. So like he comes out and he's holding his head, kind of like Samus herself was, like whenever she's having the visions. So yeah, so it's like she's like, and that's why I'm saying the Psychic Stone allowed for that, like the piece of the puzzle that was missing, because now she's like, there's a psychic tether, like a mental tether to his mind. And I guess that's also why he was like feeling some sort of way when he came out. Yeah, maybe. Could be. But yeah, he's having... I mean, definitely the most interesting aspect of the game. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the most interesting aspect of the game was... whatchamacallit? Was just that revelation that Silex was a Marine. And also just the fight was awesome. Fight was awesome and epic. First part was a little bizarre for my liking, but you know, it's okay. I also had mentioned in the Discord, I kind of wonder if the Hydra dragon heads or whatever were deliberately to like taunt Samus or something, just because of like Ridley or whatever. But yeah, as bizarre as the first phase was, like, you know, the second and third really made up for it, I thought. So, you know, and also just hearing him speak for the first time, that was also pretty awesome. Music was great. Music was great in this game. Really enjoyed it. You know, Kenji Yamamoto and Minako Hamano, you did good. And also, like I said, although it's weird that he's like, you know, in this glowing ball with tentacles and stuff, like, that still does follow the theme of a coil, like, and whatnot. You know, like the shock coil and stuff. And then, of course, there's the whole, you know, it's like, I'm always making, like, these Samus and Spider-Man comparisons, and they seem to kind of make it a bit more, or kind of emphasizes a little bit more in this game, I kind of felt at times. And so, with that being the case, Silex kind of becomes like Doc Ock in a little bit, you know, Dr. Octopus. I do kind of wonder, yeah, just because, you know, there were some tunes that were a lot catchier and easier to remember. So, you know, you can definitely hear Kenji Yamamoto's work there, because Kenji Yamamoto's work is usually pretty memorable. And then there are some tunes that are a bit more basic, but can still be catchy or whatever, but aren't necessarily as memorable. or that are like, you know, scary or whatever. Like Minaka Hamano, like she did like in Super Metroid, she did Meridia's theme, which is like just a kind of spooky sort of tune, and she also apparently did the Ridley theme. Like she made the Ridley theme, and then she also did the Mother Brain theme. Which I wouldn't be surprised if she did the Nightmare theme as well, because she was involved in Fusion soundtrack, but yeah, I might put money on if I were a betting man, I'd put money on, Furry Green was definitely Kenji Yamamoto's work, but because that's like, other than Silex's boss theme, Furry Green was definitely the most memorable tune. Like it's definitely better than Dread soundtrack overall, I would say, because Dread has a good soundtrack, but it's not nearly as memorable. I'd rather listen to the soundtrack of a different Metroid game, This one definitely had a lot more memorable and cool tracks, yeah, maybe maybe Minako Hamano did the music for the Mines, because the Mines soundtrack was like pretty spooky. Dark and spooky sounding, yeah, there's that. Yeah, plot-wise, overall, I did really like the story overall. I am conflicted with the ending there. So there is that, even though I am touched, and just made me love my squad all the more that, they just did the, good soldier self-sacrificial play for the bigger mission or whatever. At the same time, though, that bigger mission felt like it paled in comparison, I felt, to saving the Marines. Then again, since they're probably going to be continuing the story with green energy and stuff, I would guess anyway, just because there is that similarity to Phazon. It seems the intent is that the tree, the sacred tree, is supposed to serve as like a cautionary tale and be like, hey, don't do what we did, okay, with green energy. But chances are somebody is not gonna take that lesson. But chances are somebody's not gonna really take that, really understand the lesson, and instead they're gonna be like, well, we're just gonna, we're gonna do it better or something, or they'll have lust for power, or Silex will find his way back somehow, and we'll get the goods or whatever. So if my theory on that is correct, then we basically, by completing the Larmorn mission, ended up actually planting the seed, no pun intended, for more havoc to come back. Which, again, I'm conflicted with, on the one hand, well, shit. But on the other hand, yay, more green energy conflict, Just because, you know, it's like, you know, whatever, but, still, you know, I did like how it did have similarities to the Luminoth and Echoes and stuff, but in Echoes' case, though, it still had, like, you know, the Luminoth were still alive at the end, and, you know, he had this grand old salute send-off and stuff, so, but also, you know, I am glad they didn't kill off Sylux, you know, at the end, because, you know, they, like, yeah, we do need a bit more, or you know, even though that was an epic fight, you know, and him, like, you know, and whatnot, so, I do feel like with the different Hydra heads, dragon heads and whatnot, I do feel like the different upgrades I got for the different weapons, or just the different shots, like I feel like it felt like I wasn't really doing much with my other upgrades or my other weapons, to the point that, I don't know, I mean, I kind of was. Maybe it's just hard to target. Yeah, maybe it's just hard to target them as well, so, yeah. But, I mean, I'm not too mad about it or anything. I just, you know, it's not like the first Prime, or it's not like the Metroid Prime fight where it's very clear that your weapons that you've collected throughout the whole game and the upgrades for them are paying off. Like when the Metroid Prime, when you're fighting it and it goes purple, like it goes into purple mode, like wave mode, like if you have that wave buster handy, this brother, that is gonna be very handy. Which is why the Metroid Prime is one of my favorite boss fights, honestly. I still need to do a video where I just list my favorite boss fights, but even so, like, all the boss fights in the game overall, like, you know, they're pretty cool, like real fun. Had their own little twists here and there, and pretty awesome. The Omega Griever was a hard and scary fight. And like yeah, the just everything, just like the atmosphere in this game, and even just going around on the Viola, it was pretty fun. Just the different areas and just the different bits of love that all the different Prime games were getting. Like Primes 1, 2, 3, Federation Force, Hunters, and even Pinball for like a little bit. So, you know, really appreciative of that, and it definitely did, like, okay, despite the plot's flaws, which the title of this one review I saw was, like, Prime 4 is a brilliant but flawed return of Samus. And I'm like, yeah, I would say so. Oh, brother. like with like one of my only complaints, other than the ones I mentioned, one of my only complaints is like if you're going around on the Viola, like Mackenzie every now and again is just going to be contacting you, and I do wish there was an option you could just turn that off. And Prime 3 did have this problem as well, which is that if you're just wandering around, now to be fair, it did help people who easily get lost. But like, you know, there's no way to turn off like the Aurora unit hints. If you're just not headed towards the objective for like a good while. Although in Mackenzie's case, I feel like it might have been a little shorter. But also, Soul Valley is just so vast, so that's just going to happen more often and whatnot. There was also a little more, like, I mean, obviously in Metroid you're gonna have, I mean, really in any sci-fi franchise, I feel like you're always gonna run into just some like mystical or spiritual thing that is problematic, and so like wasn't, you know, there was the thing with Tokabi and like Solon and all that stuff, and then just, you know, putting like the talisman on like the tree, but I think Samus only did that as like a, I don't think she did that as a as like a, you know Solon protect this or things like that. I think it was more just a like an in memoriam of the Marines. Like, I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's definitely the way I see it. But yeah, it's like you're gonna run into that sort of thing in really a lot of different things, but I think in Metroid this might be like maybe the farthest it went. Yeah, and the fact that like, and this is what I was gonna say earlier. It's like, yeah, and like there were a lot of, yeah, I think like, although a lot of the people that worked on the first Prime game, or the other Prime games, yeah, like a lot of the, although a lot of the people who worked on the other Prime games were not involved in this one, it did still, this did still feel like a Prime game. Like it was still Metroid Prime-ish, you know. And like, I would say overall I did like it more than Prime 3. And Prime 3 is one of my favorites. But like, you know, there are some things in Prime 3 that I'm not really a fan of. Like over the years, I think I've come to find like the reasons. Okay, like the color scheme for Prime 3. There are so many browns. Like brown is such a, like there's so many brown colors just everywhere in Prime 3, and I'm just like, ugh. And whatnot. Like Skytown, brown is just everywhere. Brio, especially in Brio Fire, just brown and yellow and orange and just all of these colors and whatnot. And it's, and which is funny, like it reminds me of like, okay, a lot of people love, so there's The Godfather and The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2. And a lot of people say the second one is better than the first one. Which the second one is a good movie, but I think honestly part of why I prefer the first one is because the second one has the second one just has a lot of sepia tone, just especially when it goes back and it shows like when it goes back and it's like showing Vito Corleone's life. It's like way back in the past, and so there are a lot more sepia and oranges and yellows and stuff. But even in present, like Michael Corleone's story, there's just a lot of yellow because they go over and they're like in Cuba, and just a lot of like beiges and yellows and whatnot. I'm just like, ugh, I don't like those I don't like all that color. So, um, so I think over the years I've kind of realized I kind of have that same feeling about Prime 3 just a little bit. Even though I really love the Dark Samus fight, and like I think it is still my favorite Dark Samus fight, I think. And I do love the Omega Ridley fight, and Gandreda is a great boss, and Rundus is a fun character and a great boss as well, and you know, there is that aspect. But overall, yeah, I would say this game I think I liked more than Prime 3. I was prepared, believe it or not, as I was getting to the end, I was prepared to write this off as my new favorite Metroid game. However, because I am conflicted about the ending, like I don't think I can really say that. It is still up there, because if I say I like it more than Prime 3, then it's obviously up there as far as favorite games are concerned. And then of course I am also more forgiving towards the ending because it's obvious that they're opening the door way open for continuing the story. So, and maybe the Marines are okay, but even though it just, even though it seems very much implied that Silex eventually gets the better of them or something, but also, did I see that right? Hang on. I just realized something. Did I see it right where like Silex was grabbing Armstrong by the throat with his shock coil hand? Like, did I see that right? Which, to be fair, the shock coil isn't actually covering his arm. Like, his hand is, like... Huh. Oh no, that's oh, okay. Yeah. I will say, part of the reason there's been a race between Prime 2 and 3 is because transitioning between the light and dark world sometimes can get a bit like, you're just like, okay, come on, get over it, get on with it. And some of the backtracking also kind of hurts it a little bit, because like Prime 1 did it best, I think, when it comes to the backtracking stuff, but like Yeah, Prime 2, it's like, it's not, yeah, the backtracking kind of hurts it a bit, as Kuma put it. But just overall, but really, that is like my main problem with Prime 2. But even so, I think I would, yeah. The deciding factor between Prime 2 and Prime 3, I think, was, I'm like, okay, which game do I want people to love more? And I realized the answer was Prime 2. And so that was based on that answer, I was like, okay, I guess Prime 2 is my favorite now. And plus, if I'm now saying that I like this game overall more than Prime 3, but I wouldn't necessarily say I like it more than Prime 2. Well, obviously that means Prime 2 is over Prime 3. Yeah, and also just each of the Marines as well. Like, I mean, part of why that ending did hurt a bit was, I mean, yeah, part of why that ending hurt a little bit was well, Skytown is very linear. Like, which is why, like, even though a lot of people really like, even though I like Skytown because of its music, and, you know, fighting robots is fun, I guess, but, like, part of the problem with Skytown, though, is that it is very linear. Which is why if you are trying to get from one point to another, like, you do have to go a long ways. And it's more just navigationally linear as well. It's not so much, okay, you have to do this, now go do this, now go do this. Because Fusion, plot-wise, is very linear. Like, yeah, I think that's the difference. Because I love Fusion. Fusion is really up there. Like, Fusion, I think is my favorite of the 2D games. Still, I mean, Dread. If Dread isn't tied, or actually my favorite of the 2D games, then it's a very close second to Fusion. But so it's like, yeah, Primes 2 and 3 were like, you know, having this race with each other, and then Fusion and Dread, same sort of story, but Fusion plot-wise is very linear, and then at some point you're given sort of a free roam moment. Skytown, though, was navigationally linear. Because while there are, like, ways you can, like, do, like, shortcuts and stuff, at the same time, you're very constricted. Now, granted, that is just how it's designed. It's a floating facility, so what can you do? So it does make sense plot-wise why it's so linear, but, like, it just, you know, it's navigationally more linear than it is plot-wise. Hunters is one of the games that is actually the least linear plot-wise. Which is part of why I think it deserves more love, because people, you know, some people complain about the linear nature of some Metroid games like Fusion. And then Hunters comes along and it's like, hey, I'm actually not that linear at all. You can, like, after the first 2 worlds, you can basically go wherever you want. With, like, very few exceptions. So, but yeah, and just the stories of each of the Marines, like I mean, Tokabi is maybe my least is my least favorite, I would say. But really he just loses a lot of points just cuz, you know, like spiritually speaking, just cuz well I can't in good conscience agree with his Solon stuff as a Christian man myself. But I mean, he's still cool, and I do find it funny that when you're near him in the desert, he's playing a harmonica. I did find that entertaining and a funny touch. It's like, oh, harmonicas in Metroid. But which, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they all just recognize that her battle is, or her fight, like she's fighting for a greater purpose or something. Which, you know, but, you know, the crux of the matter is continuing the legacy of the Larmorn a greater purpose. Well, therein lies the debate and why the ending was conflicting, but you know, I did love each of the Marines in their own way. I mean, like I said, Tokabi was my least favorite, but like even though he did just save my butt in Ice Belt, which is pretty cool. Mackenzie, like, he was really funny. And just, you know, very nerdy, you know, and like, it just makes sense for, like, you know, he's like, I'm afraid I could only get her to 80%. And they're like, you know, it's like, that's good. You know, that's okay. You know, because, you know, well, he's obviously a perfectionist, which fits his personality like that. So, you know, that makes perfect sense. And just Armstrong being just a total fangirl and bit of a recall, like a nod to Angseth a little bit. Even though Angseth is a bit more of a feminist, I would say, just because, you know, she's just like, this is ridiculous. I didn't sign up to be you know, stare at a hologram screen. You know, I can outshoot half the men here or whatever. It's like, this would never happen to Samus Aran. She would be out there getting business done or whatever, whatever. And just like, you're not Samus, okay, lady. and it's like that one pastor, I forget which pastor it was, but, you know, it's like a lot of people these days, they like to take just stories from the Bible and just insert themselves in it. It's like, you know, you read the story of David and you're just like, oh, you know, you make yourself David. And it's like, what giants do you need to take out and stuff, you know, rather than seeing David as a type and shadow of Christ, like he's, you know, and like a church I used to be kind of part of for a bit, and then a linked school, like it was called the Daniel Academy, and it's like, oh, we're gonna raise and train Daniels and Josephs and stuff. It's just like, okay, people, we're not supposed to be looking in the Bible and trying to be like these men. There's only one man we should be trying to be like. and that is Jesus Christ, the God-Man. So, like, stop idolizing these other characters. But anyway, backtracking a little bit, it's kind of like this one pastor just kind of driving that point home. He's known for, like, yelling from the pulpit, "You're not David!" It's just like, you know, stuff like that. So basically that same sort of thing. Angseth, you're not Samus! Just, it's like, stop it. Yeah, but, yeah, exactly, Samus on a reconnaissance mission. He does do that from time to time, you know. But, but yeah, just, yeah, Armstrong was so delightful and just being like, you know, like, oh, is this new suit? Oh, I love it. It just like, but, no, it was pizza. VeggieTales told me so. But, but, oh, cheese in the crust. That's tremendous. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, just Armstrong kind of being like the fans, you know, just kind of, yeah, kind of voicing and the fans, and just all the respect we're getting from the Marines. I really loved it as well. And then just Mackenzie also, you know, doing that callback of being like, you know, I want to figure out how the morph ball works. And do the next thing. What? And then just, yeah, dude, and just, you know, or, you know, I mean, it's also kind of it also may be kind of a bit of like self-awareness, because they're just kind of like, yeah, we don't actually know how the morph ball works either. But, you know, but then again, since the shock coil, or not shock coil, why do I keep calling the lockjaw the shock coil? When it is confirmed the lockjaw does actually turn Silex into a ball of energy or something. So, you know, by that same principle, I don't know. Yeah, and also, yeah, the big open area, like in Metroid, the big open area between, like, in Soul Valley, that was, yeah, it's pretty cool. It was very unusual, but, you know, I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. Now it does make going from, you know, if I need to go all the way to, like, if I need to go all the way from Voltforge to Voltforge to, like, Flare Pool or the Great Mines. Oh yeah, Voltforge and Great Mines. Yeah, that's like diagonally across the map. Then it would have been nice if there was some shortcuts, like it. Okay, what I had thought maybe was happening when I went to those shrines and got the upgrades. What I thought was happening was I was starting the beginning of a teleportation system. And I think what could have been done to help improve, like, Soul Valley a little bit was if at those shrines you could teleport between those shrines specifically. Kind of like how in Dread there were a bunch of different teleportals that you could use. So that is my one complaint with Soul Valley. You know, I don't mind the whole big area. really. Other than, you know, I do kind of wish there were some extra ways to extrapolate or oh, screen blacked out. Didn't even realize it. I guess we can just stare at this screen. But yeah, I mean that's really my only one complaint about Soul Valley. Just a way to further extrapolate or is that the word I'm looking for? Expedite. That's the word I'm looking for. Expedite your journey. Is if you turn the shrines into teleporters. That'd be pretty cool. Volt Forge did feel a lot like Skytown. Volt Forge did feel a lot like Skytown in that it did feel Volt Forge is pretty linear. In how it's set up. But, you know, it was a bit more exciting than Skytown, I'll say that. And whatnot. So, you know, pretty cool. Pretty exciting. Or pretty fun area as well. And just, you know, having multiple Silex battles, even though 2 of them were actually Psy bots. But, okay, because Silex might have and probably did find some way to psychically tether to other things in the facility or whatever, I would say I am maybe pretty onto something as far as, you know, when he's actually duking it out with or when Samus is actually fighting one of those Psybots that are disguised as Silex, that he is actually there in spirit. Because, you know, they are like Psy bots, right? They are like actually like there is that capacity. So I think that would help explain after battling the second one why we don't see him at all why we don't see him in the mines or anything like that, even though part of that could have just been him just, I mean, being like, yeah, the Grievers probably, you know, there's all that going on down there. But then I think it would help explain why is it that we find him like healing himself. Why is it that we find him healing himself in one of those pods? Like if it was purely just to have like some administrative thing, I mean, like, or well, it was for Chrono Tower specifically, not for everything else. So, or yeah, so I think it seems more that it was for, like, he was actually in a bad condition, and he kind of did sound sickly a little bit when he came out. So, yeah, it does seem very much implied that he was actually there in spirit when she's fighting the Cybots, and when he actually got defeated, he actually was, like, injured. Like, his mind was actually sort of translating his own transposed reality, as you're putting it, into, oh, I'm actually dying or something. And so he needed like intensive care because he was actually in it's sort of like because I was thinking of Star Trek earlier because of, like, you know the because the needs of the one outweighed the needs of the many, which was like Kirk turning what Spock said up on its head because the whole crew just risked their lives just to bring Spock back. When Spock had said in The Wrath of Khan, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, as logic dictates. Yeah, and I was also thinking of Saruman as well, because once he gets knocked out of Theoden, he is bleeding a little bit. Because I guess his mind or whatever is actually getting strained, as it were. But then another Star Trek thing I was thinking of was the episode, which I was thinking of earlier when I did the title for this, which now I think I'll call it something different, but mostly because it's pretty much the same title I gave to the finale of Space Marine 2. But the episode was called Spectre of the Gun. And it was that these aliens put the crew in this illusion of the past. None of it is actually having any actual physical substance. They realize, because they make this tranquilizer and it doesn't work. And everything else that they try to do, it doesn't work. But then Chekhov had been killed. But they realize the only reason it killed him, the gun, he gets shot with an actual or somebody shoots him with a a revolver or something. Because they're in this illusion of the Tombstone OK Corral shootout, which is why when I watched the movie Tombstone, I was getting Star Trek nostalgia, because that's when I first heard of that historical event. But basically, although it's all an illusion, because they didn't know it and perceived everything as real, it was Chekhov's mind that killed him, not the actual bullet, because the actual bullet wasn't even real. But because and it's kind of like Mysterio, the villain Mysterio in Spider-Man. At least in some renditions of Mysterio, Mysterio, he's a master illusionist. And so what he hits Spider-Man with, none of it is even real. But because he makes it seem real, Spider-Man perceives everything as an actual threat and as actual danger. And so when the thing inflicts lethal damage or does something that would be fatal, then it would actually kill Spider-Man, but not because it actually has that capacity, but rather because it makes his mind believe that it is actually real. And so it's it tricks the brain. It's kind of it's almost like a placebo effect in a way. So all that is to say, kind of had that same sort of feel. Okay, Silex is I think it is very much, it does seem very much implied that he was actually there in spirit because of the psychic tether to the Cybots. But and so he was actually getting injured because of his own mind, and because of that he needed intensive care, and that's why he's in one of those pods at the start of the fight. Yeah, just the different Marines and just the fight at the beginning. I do wish. Okay, this is something I do wish they did. Because the Space Pirates are only a thing at the beginning of the game. you don't see any. Okay, like Federation debris gets put like it gets scattered throughout, like from the facility, right? And then you have 5 different Federation personnel there as well. But then there's no space pirate stuff like anywhere to be seen. So I do wish they did have the pirates involved, at least in some capacity. Like when I was going into the mines, I was like kind of crossing my fingers, just being like, oh please, oh please, oh please, like bring like let there be like pirates there or something. Now maybe that would be a little on the nose, being that the mines are obviously inspired by the Phazon mines, but all the same, like, you know, I remember Kuma was just negatively just accusing just the game of like oh, Silex was just going to be a bait and switch, and then the other stuff was just the actual plot of the game. When in the end, like, not only was Silex not a bait and switch at the beginning, but he was very much involved in the plot of this game, which I really appreciated and really loved about the plot. But it was the space pirates themselves who were actually the bait and switch. if you will, because yeah, after the beginning, they are nowhere in the game, which is a bummer. And also, yeah, just there's so many questions still unanswered. And like some of my judgments are like premature. Like I will say, I will fully grant that some of my objections with this game are a bit premature, which is why, and like I said, which is why like part of why I'm willing to just overlook some things with the ending is because it's very obvious they're making it's pretty obvious that they're making another game, or just teasing that they are. But like but because of that same thing, like I'm hoping that some of these answers or some of these questions will be answered at some point. But like, okay, some of these questions, right? And also, no, I think Silex did mean to bring them. Well, that's true. The Metroids did show up. Well, I think they did. It's just, I think he did just by virtue of the fact that where do they show up? Like each of the big bosses that we find, they're all like they're all infected by Metroids. Well, oh, you mean, yeah. It's possible. Yeah, it is possible that none of them. Yeah, that Silex himself didn't bring them over, but then they're still bound. They could still, they're still like bound to his will or whatever, or like imprinted on him, so they'll like do his bidding or whatever. But I misunderstood what you meant at first. But yeah, there's just like there are just a lot of questions that still need answering. Like it's 20x9, right? And then Super Metroid and Samus Returns are supposed to be 20x7, right? So as many people are wondering, doesn't that mean that this could be after Super Metroid and even after Other M? Like, and if that's the case, then how are the pirates still around? Like, there are questions that need answering. Now, it's not like I'm mad about it or anything. I just want an answer to my question. Well, all of them except for the Omega Griever. The Omega Griever was the only main boss that was not infected by a Metroid. However, he was totally he totally absorbed super amounts of green energy. So that's his thing. But anyway, yeah, that's something that needs answering. I am glad the whole Psychic Stone Vision stuff I don't know if I wouldn't say it's 100% answered. Excuse me, like what that was going on. However, from what we got, I am satisfied because I do think we have enough to come to a conclusion. The mines? No, because we were okay. It's the only area without a new trooper, or whatnot, because we were fighting with everybody, but then we get separated for one reason or another. But yeah, like I said, although we didn't get a full answer for the Psychic Stone visions and stuff, with what we got, I am satisfied. Just because we can come to a conclusion on the matter. And then speaking of which, just the whole big reveal, like I said, that Silex was a Marine, and then just kind of that, thing that is like, oh, well, what happened? Like, and we do kind of have like reasons, I think, or we do kind of have a foundation now, I would say, as far as why he hates the Federation, and then thereby why he hates Samus, like for aiding the Federation and stuff. So at the same time, yeah, interesting. And then just what was I? At the same time, right? Okay. At the same time, it does kind of feel like maybe all of it is just okay. Silex is after Samus and hates Samus because she is helping the Federation and she's like their great hero and stuff like. But it kind of feels like there is still something more. Like Silex has a grudge against Samus, but is there more than just she's the one thing standing in between him and wiping out the Federation? Is there more? Because it kind of feels like there is, but I don't know what. So that's a question that needs answering. I kind of feel. But I don't know. Maybe it is just that. Maybe it is just that she is the thing that is between Silex and getting his revenge against the Federation. But you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna be okay if that is it. But yeah, at best, yeah. Um. Oh yeah, maybe. Certainly hope not. Oof. Um. Or at least, yeah, maybe he perceives it that way, but. Somewhere in between those two, I reckon. But yeah, but like, I mean, I'll be perfectly fine if, like, I'll be okay with it if that is just it. That, you know, she's just, you know, she's in between him and his revenge on the Federation, and that, I don't know, she seemed, at least in his mind, involved in whatever disaster that was, which, you know, I am thinking it is maybe the Horus Rebellion. I almost said the Horus Heresy because that's obviously what it's a nod to. Just but really just because that is the only precedent or event we know of that it could be, like, the only existing, already previously existing event that we know of that could be in relation to, or probably just because, you know, the very little we know of the Horus Rebellion. But yeah, anyway, yeah, I you know, I like the puzzles, like the, you know, like the different upgrades and stuff. I did think, just, you know, like, I started making this joke at Psychic Powerbomb trademark, you know. I did start, you know, I was making that joke because I do feel like, I don't know, it's just a little overdone. Just like, okay, I get it. But, like, now, to be fair, in some instances, like with the bombs and the power bombs, you could grab them and then throw them. So in that regard, they were different from just regular bombs and regular power bombs. So in that instance, they were, the title was a bit more warranted. But like I said, like, I kept making the trademark joke or whatever, just because I'm like, okay, like, it just, like, psychic power bomb, psychic spider ball, psychic grapple lasso, psychic grapple swing, psychic beam, you know, just like, I'm like, okay, I get it. Just everything's psychic. But you know, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just, you know, just a little repetitive, but yeah, overall, great game. I liked it. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Just those frustrations I listed, really, and it did feel very much like a Prime game. Like, it didn't, like, it did feel different, to where it's like, okay, this is made in a, like, this is a more modern spin, if you will. But it still did, at its core, feel like a Prime game. And, like, a lot of people will say, you know, oh, it's like, it totally went against the genre, it totally failed to meet the genre of Metroid, and or all that other stuff, and I didn't see that at all. I played this game and it was a Metroid game I was playing, like, and a Metroid Prime game. Like, not only did it feel like a Metroid game, it felt like a Metroid Prime game. So like, I totally disagree with people who are like, oh, this, it doesn't feel like a Metroid game, or it fails to, you know, meet that genre, or what have you. Or no, this definitely belongs, like, it belongs in the series. It's different, but different is okay. Like, it depends on the different, of course. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know. It's like you end up playing as Xerxes Samus for like the entire game for some reason. I mean, that would be interesting, but I feel like that would only be just a stealth game mostly, and also just the source for all sorts of unsavory stuff. So, but just my point is, like, okay, like, you can have a big open area in a Metroid game, and it's okay. It works. I think it works. Yeah. Or yeah, just the different mechanics and how game mechanics and how they implemented them. I thought was pretty cool, and love the characters, and although the ending did hurt a bit, like, it's still, like, it still made me love those characters even more, because they're all, like, you could think of it also as, like, they're not just trying to help her, like, do the better mission, or do the greater mission, or what have you, but they're also all trying to save her, like, her specifically, and, like, and thereby, like, getting her home to help the Federation, because she's their greatest she's their greatest hero, but more from a broader perspective, she's the Federation's hero. Like, she's the guardian of the galaxy, the protector of the galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy is a Marvel thing. Which, okay, when I think about it in that light, that makes me feel a lot better. Yeah, that makes me feel a lot better about the ending. When I think about it in that light, because not just to fulfill the Larmorn mission, but also to just get her back to just being the galactic savior and stuff, as, like, Adam called her in Other M. Yeah, Planet Groot. I am Groot. Which apparently in Vin Diesel's script, like, it shows, like, in parentheses, okay, this is what you're saying when you're saying I am Groot, because no matter what Groot says or means, he's always saying I am Groot. It's kind of like, Chewbacca. Like, Chewbacca always does the or whatever, but, like, it's always something, like, he's saying something, but you can never understand what he's saying. But, like, which apparently in the Wall-E script they did the same thing, like, because the robots, they're only saying, it's like in Eve's script, it shows, like, in parentheses, it's like, say it like this, what are you doing here, or whatever, like, like, why, or whatever, or whatever, but anyway, but yeah, when I think of it in that broader light, like, they're not so much saving, they're not so much getting her to safety just so she can plant the darn tree, right? It's more because they recognize she is like, okay, like I was saying, like Silex sees Samus as the one thing standing in between her and the Federation's, or the one he sees her as the one thing standing in between him and bringing ruin to the Federation. And so by that same metric, I think the Marines also know that, or also see it that way, and so that's why they're trying to stop Silex while letting Samus go free, like run, or like get out of there, just so, you know, she can go back and be the hero of the Federation while they're trying to keep Silex away and stuff, or buying her time and stuff. So yeah, when I think about it that way, that makes a lot more sense. It's just yeah, the whole Larmorn thing was more of a subplot. It's kind of hard to tell what is the main plot and what is the subplot of this game, just a little bit. I would say the Larmorn thing is a bit more of a It's like two different main plots going on at the same time, so I think that's also part of why there is that conflict there at the end. But anyway, I think I've said what I need to say. I will say just all with my rambling, because, you know, I am a bit of a verbal processor, and so just going on and rambling like this, like, I think has really helped me process the ending, and also helped me come to a point where I'm like, okay, the ending wasn't as bad as I thought, or you know, I'm no longer as conflicted about it. But yeah, well, man, oh man, though, that was a sad fate for those. That was a sad fate for the Marines, but, you know, that's, you know, they were great soldiers, you know. Brave folks. So, yeah, good fighters too. Like, they weren't, you know, they weren't you know, they're pretty good, you know. Pretty awesome, pretty badass. Yeah, I think I've said what I need to say, but yeah, or yeah, I think maybe I'll think more about it a bit later, but anyway, well, there you go. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, after 8 years. Wow, fun game. Can't wait for Prime 5 though. Anyway, well, thank you all so much for watching. As always, God bless, and hope to see y'all next time. Ciao.